Hey guys, it's Helena. So today I wanted to show you how to hand mend and repair your clothes, and this is a great way to really extend the lifespan of your garments in case they have any rips or tears in them. And just by repairing them with using your hand needles and some thread, you'll really be able to just patch it up and get it back to its original state. In case you don't know how to hand sew, this is a good kind of intro of how you can really apply hand sewing and to fix up your clothes whenever you need to. Something else on a side note that I thought was kind of interesting to mention is that in the fashion industry, a lot of times clothes are mutilated, and that means that the clothes are literally cut and they have holes in them. So something like these sweatpants, there's literally a hole in the leg right over here. If you can see, they cut this section out, and that's because a lot of times they either need to figure out the weight of the garment or they need to send this overseas, and it can't look like a perfect garment, or they think it will be resold somewhere else. So I just thought that was something that's really wasteful in the fashion industry. So anyways, if you do have the skill of, patching up your clothes, you could take a sample such as this. If you see it at, any secondhand stores or at recycling facilities, like this is something that you could actually repair and extend the life of as well. So back to mending your own clothes, something that I needed to patch up recently is there's been this hole in my jacket and the stuffing is pretty much coming out of it, and I thought mending it by hand would be a quick way to do it. And if you really wanted to, after you patch it up by hand, you could even go over it with the machine to make sure that it's super, the stitches are super tight, but let's try and do this by hand. So for me, I'm using this black piece of fabric, and I got this at Fab Scrap when I went for a volunteer session, and it was in one of the bins, so I grabbed that. Try to find a piece of fabric that matches the item that you're repairing. You could go into your closet and look for old t-shirts or something that you don't mind cutting up, or if it was something that you were originally gonna get rid of, you can even do like a contrast color if you want, and just make sure that it's big enough to place over whichever hole that you're mending. So first, you just have to figure out how much fabric that you need and cut a square or rectangle to make sure that it's the right size. And I was folding it in half because I wanted to double up on the fabric. And after I folded it in half, I just checked to make sure it was the correct size. So before you start pinning up the patch, you have to fold in the edges by 1/4 of an inch on each of the sides so that the raw edges don't show. So I switched over to a contrasting fabric just so you can see where the patch should be and the 4 edges that you should have folded under and pinned. Next, you just need to get matching thread and tie a knot at the end. And now you can start hand sewing, and you just insert the needle from the inside and pull out the needle so the thread goes through both layers of the fabric, and then the needle goes back down into the fabric, and it's just an over and under motion. You can try and make the stitches as neat as possible and the spacing as neat as possible as you can. To knot off the needle, I usually make a stitch, like a backward stitch, and then I bring the needle through the loop to make a knot, and you can do that maybe like 2 times to make sure that it's secure. And so yeah, you just want to do that before you actually run out of thread. Back to the actual fabric and my jacket.
the black on the black, and I pinned down all the sides. And now the sleeve is all patched up and it's as good as new.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this is a helpful little intro to how you can start mending your clothes by hand. Again, it's a great way to sustain your items that you have right now and to really make sure that they don't go to waste. Please like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye!